So, for my journal 2 entry on the 5 rhythms, I want to speak about my experience with the chaos section in class, and also contemplation going into um, my relation to chaos and surrender um, within my body. Yes. So in class, the chaos portion of the 5 rhythms flow that we went through, I found myself like so exhausted. Like chaos really exhausts me is what I'm like discovering. And many times in ecstatic dance, when the more like peak of the wave comes on, I generally rather like rebel and I like move really slow, or I just like can't do it, and like I just like sit down, or like it just doesn't move my body. So in class I consciously was like working with that and wanting to really like lean into the chaos. And it was, well, like 2 things came up. One thing was that like it was tiring. It was so tiring, but I like wanted to lean in, and like, but there was like so much resistance. And then another thing that I noticed is that the instruction was to like keep our feet planted and to kind of be like the wind noodle dude. And like it like felt like I had I guess like within myself, I could have like been like, I'm gonna move my feet, like, but I wanted to like follow the instructions. So like that's like one thing that I'm reflecting on in my relationship to that, and like rules, and where like chaos is kind of like fuck the rules, like and so yeah, like there was like a conflict in my body there, and like a resistance there as well that I noticed. And yeah, like made it even harder. It was like I already didn't want to do the chaos, and then I'm like saying, like, I'm like told I can't like move my feet, and like, and even though I saw like a couple other people moving their feet, yeah, I don't know, it was just, there was a thing there for me. And like reflecting on that, just like in my life, and in my body, is I feel like surrender, even mental surrender, spiritual, emotional surrender, like in whatever realm, for me, I can, there's also like a surrender in my body that happens, and that looks like a softening, an opening. There's not like these walls of resistance. And yeah, and I feel in my body sometimes it can be really hard to surrender. I find that like sometimes like parts of my body, like my jaw or my neck, or like my solar, can like, it's like they won't fully soften. Or like sometimes when I'm like doing a body practice and like tuning into each of my centers, there's like one center sometimes that is just like, I feel like I can't really clear it, I can't really fully soften it, I can't really open it all the way, and I just have to like work with that. And like so yeah, sometimes I struggle to like soften and open physically in my body. And also like within being in physical contact with others as well, I feel that um there's walls, there's protection. I have like a lot of protection um, mechanisms that I feel in my body, especially when it comes to like physically interacting with someone. And I think it's like not all the time, It's not like with everyone. There's like certain things, like especially like sexuality, like that's with everyone, but like even like not going to that level, and but like still speaking on physical contact, there's like some people that like something in me, there's resistance. It's like it doesn't, like safety is a big it, like such a huge thing within that, within being able to surrender and like feel that softening and opening in my body. And I feel like I have like a lot of things that I like feel that I need to actually feel safe, even if like the situation is safe, because of like just my own childhood and life experiences. But some people and like some energies and some like, there is just that comfort in that way. And like I can like kind of exploring this within like my experience with ecstatic dance and contact dance. And it's like yeah, like some people I just like don't want to dance with. I think that's like probably for everyone. And I think that, yeah, that's, but also um there's like certain people that I have like this awesome chemistry. I've only met it like, I usually meet like one person in each like community, like ecstatic dance community that I've been in, and like but it's like just this great compatibility. And it's like there's like no thought, it's just flowing, the way that we can like read one another's movement and body and respond to that in such a compatible way. And usually there's like these awesome flips and like just like in a lot of like in the air movement, and it just like works and it's awesome. And it's not like in my mind, it's not like, oh, I'm not safe, or like these like protective walls that are asking these questions. And there's like a surrender into this vortex that we like enter, and it seems. And but also to like bring it back to this like chaos rhythm, and contact dance, ecstatic dance, chaos is also like, already I don't want to dance with it. Or even if it's not necessarily chaos, but it's like more like higher songs, even like faster paced songs, I don't really like to like contact dance to that. Again, there's kind of this like and this resistance. Um and like there's been times where I've like been contact dancing and it like kind of gets all chaos, and it's like I also can't like listen um to their body as much. Like there's like so much going on, and it's like so quick. And I find that like in syncness that it like that I can like tune into with contact dancing, I don't have as much of that in syncness. It's like I can't read and stay as present with the chaos. And maybe that's like the thing. It's like where I don't want to surrender this like being able to listen, being able to like this like understanding, where then there's like a security, which means safety. And like and just like letting it be all messy, there's like a resistance to that. And so yeah, really just like exploring my resistance to chaos. And right now I'm just like contemplating like what kind of practices, like is there any like kind of practices that come up that I can like do with myself or with others to explore this rhythm of chaos in different ways, that also are like assisting me in exploring my relationship to surrender, and like letting go of control of my body. I like to have a lot of control over my body. Like I really enjoy the lyrical rhythm and like telling a story, and it's like, there's like more, there's like this intention that like with like telling the story, where there's like a control of like how I place my foot and like want to like look all beautiful, or like want to like dip in and like contract and like feel the pain, and like um and I feel like to explore it with other rhythms would be really supportive, instead of like just going into the chaos. I think that it also super could like be a great practice, and to like really explore that, but also to combine it with other rhythms, or like to actually do the whole wave. I think that it's like a whole container, and if I just like set the intention of like finding like these gems within my relation to chaos, control, surrender, that like my intention being like, how can I harvest those gems um through the full wave, even if that gem is just that I'm looking for is focused within the chaos rhythm. um and also like where the stillness, it's like very calming, it's very peaceful, it, and it can be like a very like regulating rhythm for me. And so also like playing with, and there's kind of like this opposite within like the chaos and the, in like certain ways, the chaos and the stillness. And so also maybe like playing, like polarizing with those two rhythms as well, and like going into the chaos where then there's this resistance, then it's just like, but then being able to go in the stillness where I can then soften, and like, and maybe oscillating between the two a couple times, where then it's like the chaos, I feel the tension, then I'm able to soften, and then go potentially like go into that, the chaos again, but my body is like in this like softened state. And um yeah, I'm interested to explore that one, um because also like being in that softened state, that also will probably create a resistance to the going back into the chaos. And but yeah, I think that would be a great practice for me, that like holds potential gems of wisdom and insight around my body and surrender and chaos and control and safety. And yeah, there's, I guess like another thing that's coming through with chaos is like there's one aspect that it's like letting go of control, um and yeah, it's like letting go of control and the surrender, but also to be in that rhythm of chaos and the fast pace and the, it's like it's really hard to also to surrender to that, because I'm needing to call the reserves of my energy to even move like that. So in a way it's like I'm like needing to like control my energy levels to even be able to stay in the chaos. Even like going like this, it's like, or like this, like my arms, like back here, my arms are like really, they're tired already. It's like I'm like pulling the reserves of my energy right here just to like be loose and in chaos and surrender. So it's like, how can I really surrender if I'm not actually able to surrender my body too? And so also maybe, yeah, but I guess maybe like, maybe seeing the difference between surrendering to the chaos and surrendering the movement of my muscles, and like, and maybe they like dance a little bit, like within the chaos I'm surrendering the movement of my muscles, but also like, can I still like need to have control of my body? If I just let go of control of my body, I'm gonna be still, And so there is like this push within it. And yeah, and that makes me like also explore like my relationship to like being pushed, being like needing to like push myself to do something. And like especially like these past couple years, I've really fallen into potentially overvaluing comfort, where the push into the uncomfortable a little bit is very like, it's something I've avoided. I haven't like needed to like push myself into the uncomfortable and like really anyway. And I mean, like, yes, in some ways, but like in like ways that are so normal for most people in life. Like I've had the privilege of not um like that not being required of me. So I feel like it's that with the overvaluing of comfort, and like overvaluing as in like so much that it's actually sabotaging needs of my soul, of my being, that are gonna actually help me be happy and not depressed. And so right now I feel like I'm, especially like being in school, there's like this push, that I'm like stepping into, this like leaning in, and this, and like exploring my relationship to leaning in, to like feeling like the chaos of like, and the discomfort of like, okay, like I have a lot of homework to do by tomorrow, and I'm like a little stressed, but like I need to do this, and I can't just let my stress like take over, and I can't just like lay in bed with the heating pad and like just and some warm tea and just decide not uh to do my homework. Or so it's like this commitment, um that I like really haven't needed to like commit to things much, that then it's like there's like a comfort in not committing. And so yeah, just like wanted to explore that some with the peace within chaos around the pushing and needing to make my body like be chaos, and like pulling that reserve of energy when I want the comfort and the, oh, this feels good, I don't have to try. And like, but I think this is just like personal opinion, and like, and also just where like how I'm relating to it, seeing like my unique constitution, like to not put effort in, to not be trying, to not be like pushing myself. I think that that's a really unhealthy thing for me. I think there's like something within me, and potentially like everyone, that like actually needs to lean into things, and that's actually healthy for them. And like I think it directly impacts my well-being, and it also directly impacts the amount of energy reserves that I have. There was like this fear starting school, like, oh, is there like gonna am I gonna have the energy? Like, I feel like I already don't have energy, but it's like as I'm actually like, okay, I'm getting up, I'm in this routine, and like then I can, I feel like I have more energy. Like even though I've had these like super 3 busy days, all my classes are in Monday through Wednesday, then like Thursday I still want to go into town again and like still be working on homework all the way up from the mountain. And like where before, like when I was living in Ashland, I didn't have a job, I wasn't pursuing anything, it was like I was like living in town, if I like maybe went out of my house like twice a week. And like so just that, and like connecting that back to the chaos, it's like maybe the more that I actually work with the chaos, that I'll actually find more reserve, and it won't feel so much like this trying to really pull and lean into that reserve, and that will come more natural, that which could support the surrendering into the chaos, because there's not like a force behind even being able to be in that like chaos movement. And like so yeah, I feel complete.